and gentlemen, Forrest Griffin and Stephan Bonnar. It is my honor to induct you into the UFC Hall of Fame. Congratulations, boys.
Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being a part of this. In the grand scheme of things, fighting people in a cage for money is not that big of a deal. I know that. You know, it's not like a hero profession, even though sometimes it's treated as one. You know, it's not being a soldier on foreign soil or, you know, being a paramedic or a firefighter, but sometimes on special moments it feels like that. And it's the biggest thing I've ever been a part of, and I really appreciate all of you being a part of it with me. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, I first saw the UFC my junior year of high school in 1994, and you know, the minute I saw it, it just hit me that this is the coolest thing ever. Finally, all those questions, used to have arguments with my friends. Who would win in a fight, Reggie White or Mike Tyson? Well, Reggie White would just maul him like a bear and take him down, and well, Tyson would knock him out. And finally, all those questions got to be answered. And I remember going to wrestling practice after I saw the VHS tape of UFC 2 and trying to armbar people and getting yelled at by the coach. And man, my one friend had a cheater box, Boilex, so we go in his dad's basements and, you know, watch the UFCs, and it was the thing I look forward to the most. And then fast forward a couple years, it's 1997, I'm in college at Purdue, and Randy Couture's fighting Vitor Belfort. And to me, that was the moment when the sport really evolved. Like finally, like world-class athletes are doing this sport. World-class wrestlers like Randy Couture and Vitor Belfort, this guy who knew all the crazy submissions that Royce Gracie did. But he's strong and powerful and knocks people out with his hands. And I remember having a party at Purdue for that pay-per-view. And Randy upset Vitor. I was just in awe. And I was looking forward to getting out of college. Because over the summers, I started training at the Carlson Gracie Jiu-Jitsu School. And after college, you know, I kept training jiu-jitsu and really never thought ever that I'd be a part of the UFC. And fast forward a couple more years, I had some matches and got lucky enough to get chosen for the Ultimate Fighter reality show. And you know, I know these guys here had their doubts about the show and the UFC at the time, but something inside me, I knew that the show would be a hit, and I just knew that the fight with Forrest would be a great one. I know my whole life, I had never been the best athlete. I was always average in everything. I had two older brothers who beat my ass a lot, and they were better than me at everything. So a big part of me was wanting to become a big bad ninja so I could kick their ass. And that motivated me a lot. And that was the beauty of MMA. You didn't have to be great at everything. You could be pretty good at everything and be a good MMA fighter. So if I had decent wrestling and decent jiu-jitsu and decent boxing and a lot of heart, then hey, I could pull this MMA thing off. So got chosen for the Ultimate Fighter reality show. That was 2004, and pretty much ever since then, my life has really been all UFC. I mean, not just fighting, just everything I've done outside of fighting. All the TV work I've had an opportunity to do with Spike TV and the pre and post shows with Fox and ESPN and calling the WEC fights. Really, I couldn't tell you who was run for president, but I could tell you about every guy who was fighting on the undercard. So this last year has been really tough for me. It's kind of been, you know, it's been retirement. It's been putting the sport behind me, been trying to unveil my new chapter of the life. And as I sat down and peeled all these versions of myself away, the one thing that had in common with the businessman Stephan Bonnar, I was making UFC merchandise and event t-shirts and the Punch Buddies line of clothing. and the TV personality Stephan Bonnar. It was all UFC pre and post shows and calling the fights and the aftermath show for the Ultimate Fighter. And just every version of Stephan Bonnar was UFC. So I just want to thank these guys for letting me be a part of this organization, because really ever since I saw the UFC for the first time, I fell in love with it, and I thought it was the coolest thing on earth. So since 2004, really it's my life's been all of UFC, and I'm so thankful to have the opportunity to be a part of it, not just fighting in the cage, but in all aspects of the organization. I'm nothing more than a fan like you guys, I love the sport more than anything, and love the UFC more than anything, and it's been really hard, like, letting that part of me go and moving on and finding the next chapter of my life. So, man, I just got a couple people to thank. Really, in Muay Thai, they're always big about thanking your teachers. So, growing up, man, I wanted to thank my brothers for, kicking my ass and making me tough. My parents, my mom always driving me to Taekwondo. My dad, I was always trying to prove my worthiness to him. My Taekwondo teacher, Dexter Grove, my high school wrestling coach, Ken Lewis, Carlson Gracie, God bless his soul. My first boxing coach, Joe Kane, Duke Rufus, Mark Delagrade, last couple of years, Sergio Pena, Nick Blomgren, my wife Andrea, my best friend Tom Scully, and my 8-month son Griffin Bonnar right there in the front row. And finally, if there's anyone in the UFC I could have picked out to lose that fight to, it would have been Forrest Griffin. As painful as it was to lose that fight, I was so happy for him, because he's a great guy, and love you, man. So, I just want to end with a quote. This one from Calvin Coolidge, and I just found it last night, but I'm like, wow, this is perfect. This really describes me. He said something that goes like this: nothing in the world can take the place of persistence. Talent will not. Nothing is more common than unsuccessful men with talent. Genius will not. Unrewarded genius is almost a proverb. Education will not. The world is full with educated derelicts. Persistence and determination alone are omnipotent. That means all powerful. I had to look that up. The slogan, "Press on," has solved and will always solve the problems of the human race. So thank you, UFC, Dana, Lorenzo, Frank Fertitta, for standing by me, and I'll be forever loyal to this organization. Thank you, fans, all the support, just the opportunity to entertain you guys. And look out for my charity Garrett's fight. G-Money's here. He's a fighter with Down syndrome I'm supporting. And the movie Jacked coming out soon. Supposed to have a role in that. So watch me get my ass kicked in the movie. Thank you guys.